Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Sweet Life podcast. In this episode, we are diving into all things VIP days with my friend Amy Yamada. Now, Amy has been a guest on the show before, but last year we were talking about ChatGPT and how to use AI in marketing, another area of expertise. And today we are diving into all things VIP days. So let's talk about what you can expect out of this show. At the end of this show, you're going to have a 3-step process to bring yourself through to determine, first of all, whether or not VIP days are right for your business, and then actually how to walk into that, how to start with the process of crafting your first VIP day offer. Now, this is really important. If you have been listening to the show, especially the last few episodes as we roll into 2024, year 7, by the way, here of the show. Thank you so much for being part of the show for so long. The reality is that for advanced entrepreneurs, your clients are looking for more curated experiences. So the clients that you want to target, those clients that are ready to invest, they have the money to invest. They are willing to buy whatever it is for a curated solution that is specifically for them. That is one of the trends we know is happening in the coaching and consulting space. And if those are your clients or those are the clients that you want to target, VIP days are a great way where you can actually craft an offer to meet the needs of those particular buyers that, again, have the money. They know what they want. They don't have the time necessarily to sort through so much content or so many trainings, and they just want the solution. And they want the solution from you, whether you are in business strategy or life strategy or whatever your subject matter area of expertise. There are clients out there that want you to save them time, simplify the process, and get them results faster. And they are willing to pay for VIP days to do it. So I'm really excited for this episode. Again, what you can expect is a framework to get started with this, and all of the show notes can be found by going to sweetlifeco.com, simply clicking on the podcast. And this is episode number 314. And if you're a new listener to the show, thank you so much for being here. My name is April Beach, and I am a subject matter expert on helping coaches, consultants, authors, and speakers craft your $1 million offer ecosystem and license your programs to other companies for 7 to 8 figures. I'm so glad that you're here. All of our shows are designed to give you proven trainings and business strategy that other coaches will charge you thousands for. So everything that you see on here, all of the resources, they're very well vetted from established experts in the industry, and I can't wait for you to tap in. Let's dive into today's show. All right, you guys, I'm back again with my friend Amy Yamada. And the last time she was here, we were talking about ChatGPT, which is also an area of Amy's expertise. So you can go back and listen to episodes 277 and 278 if you are here and you want to know more about utilizing ChatGPT to streamline your operations and your marketing and all these genius things that Amy teaches. But today we're talking about VIP days. And this is such a timely topic, completely in transparency for you guys, because I'll also always tell you the truth. I really hadn't had shows lined up that I was really excited about for 2024 yet. And I thought of Amy, and we do some collaboration together. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is just the perfect show to do. Let's dive into VIP days, because as you guys remember, we just did a show where we dropped the latest trends for subject matter experts, coaches, and consultants. And the number one trend is that people are no longer seeking to be part of these big, huge launches, these big, huge programs where they're another number, and they are paying for highly curated experiences. And this is a perfect introduction into talking about VIP days with Amy. Amy, thank you so much for coming on the show with us.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad to be back and speaking about a topic that I'm very passionate about. And it's just something where whether you're totally new to VIP days and this is your introduction to them, or you've been doing them for a while and you want to take them to the next level, I just think it's a very fun topic because it's been probably the most fun, easy, and impactful offer that I've had as part of one of my offers. And so I'm excited to share anything that can support those who want to offer them this year.
I am totally excited to dive in. Okay, so let's first of all define what a VIP day is. Let's start at the basics of the basics. You're a coach, you're a consultant, you're thinking, hey, VIP day not only sounds like something I would like to attend, but maybe something I would like to sell. how do I define a VIP day versus just a day attending a workshop with me, perhaps?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the way I like to define a VIP day is think of it as a private, like a one-on-one full day intensive. And you can call it what you want. I know in the coaching industry, we call it a VIP day. You could call it a personal retreat. You could call it a one-day intensive. You could call it a solo experience. I mean, you can really call it whatever you want that makes sense for you and your ideal client. But it's a way for you to work with someone, completely personalize the day to them, and think about what is it that my ideal client wants to get out of our experience together, and what is their ultimate desired transformation or outcome. And by coming together for a full day, whether it's in person or virtually, you can accelerate their experience of getting to where they want to go. So I just have found that it's been a great way to work with those who, as you said, not all people want to jump into a long-term coaching program or a group or a mastermind, even though I've loved those formats as well. But it's been nice to have something that is short and accelerated and gives them my personalized attention.
Mm. Okay, so I want faster results. I want your personal attention. I'm going to seek out a VIP day. And I know that there are customers out there that are certainly looking for that as well. And really quick, just talking about the trends, have you noticed that as well, being in the industry for a while, that change away from these big, huge mass launches and programs where they would be, 500,000 seats sold at a time? Have you seen that as well in your space?
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting because I was recently a part of another entrepreneur's big launch, and they still did very well. I mean, I think that it was a launch that does target newer entrepreneurs that really, when you're newer and you're just like craving the information, you're like, I want to know the model, I want to know the secret. I don't have a large budget, so I think there's still a time and space for that, but especially for those who've been in their businesses or own businesses for 2, 3, 5, 10+ years. I think you just get to a point where it's more about implementation and team
Mm-hmm.
systems, and then investing in the very specific things that you need versus being a part of a larger group mastermind. And I say that, and I'm still a part of a larger group mastermind, but even when I have been a part of a group mastermind, I always find like my business besties within it, and we create our own
Right.
pod, and I make a note of getting to know the lead coach and the coaches. 'Cause I'm like, I don't want to just be another number, even as a client, let alone have clients that feel that way too. So I think that when you're working with someone who's been in business for multiple years, then they are craving that personalized attention and a very specific outcome. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying about that.
That's so funny. That's really good insight. And actually, now that you said that, I think that's how you and I met. I think you and I onboarded the same day into that larger business mastermind. Funny.
Yeah.
That was like years ago. It seems like, okay, I think that's how we met. Who knows? All right. So let's dive into really how does, our listeners are subject matter experts and coaches and consultants and authors and speakers, and they're thinking about doing this VIP day, but they're second guessing whether or not they're qualified to actually even deliver a VIP experience, which we'll talk about later, but even just be in a position to charge what needs to be charged in order to truly deliver a VIP experience. So I know that a lot of people, based on what you say, face this resistance of, wow, can I actually do this? So where do you want them to start first, even thinking about whether or not they should offer VIP services within their business?
Yeah, I would say that the first step is to enroll yourself first, meaning and just know I struggled with thinking about charging high ticket for a VIP day. What I teach now is I teach clients and workshop attendees on creating and selling a $10,000 VIP day. And I myself really struggled with the thought of that at one point in my journey because I'd never done it, right? So it was that
Right.
whole question of like, who am I to think that anyone will invest anything to work with me for a day? And I had a mentor at the time that was encouraging me to sell them for $10,000. I'm like, I'm a very optimistic person, and there's no way, right? I was like, I can't do it. And she said, okay, how about we're like negotiating? She's like, how about 7,500? I'm like, no, I can't even imagine saying the words out loud on a call with someone. And she said, all right, how about this? How about you sell the first two at 5,000 and then bump it up to 7,500 and sell like six more, which was an ambitious goal within a month. And I said, I'll see what I can do. you know? And that month, I ended up selling 5 VIP days for 5,000 each, paid in full. So it was a nice $25,000 bump in my business,
Mhm.
right? Like who
Mhm.
doesn't love a nice revenue bump?
Right.
And it was so great to just get out of my comfort zone and stop making it about me and my limiting beliefs of who am I to think that anyone will ever invest $5,000 to work with me for a
Mhm.
day. And instead, focus the spotlight on them being your ideal client, and ask yourself, do I believe I can make a difference for them if I got to spend one dedicated day with them?
Mm.
It just has a reframe on it.
Mm.
So whenever
Mm.
I shift my thinking, like, do I believe I could really make a difference for someone? Yes, I could make a difference for someone. If we got to sit down and roll up our sleeves and spend a whole day together, like, think about how much you could do in a day and how you can accelerate their growth, because they don't have to do all the things you did to get to where you are now, because you're going to fast track them. You're going to share with them what has worked and what hasn't worked with yourself and others. So I would say enroll yourself first and ask yourself, like, think about someone, think about one person that represents your ideal client, and ask yourself, do I believe I could make a difference for them if I got to spend one entire day with them, whether it was in person or virtual? And I'm willing to bet the answer is yes. Okay, now you're enrolled in someone enrolling in a VIP day with you. So it's going to be a lot easier for you to actually speak into this when you believe in the value of it.
Ah, oh my gosh, I love that. And I can see I can see why the graduated process that your coach was walking you through brought you into it as well. I know that that's how I started out as well, like a little bit more and a little bit more. And then all of a sudden I realized, wow, this is blowing these people's socks off. They would have paid so much more than I actually charged for this, and look at the results. And I also remember that when I first started increasing my prices, that it gave me so much more confidence as well, because I saw how blown away they are with their own results. And you're right, it was all about them. So that leads me to my next question. So buying in and believing in your value, and
Yeah.
then we go, okay, but how do I actually transfer the value that I'm saying that you're going to get out of 10K into what I'm actually doing with them? How do I actually know? I have to structure this in some capacity. They can't just show up and just hang out and I have some, lunch waiting for them. There has to be some sort of a framework around what we're going to talk about. How do you recommend people determine the framework of that VIP day and what they're actually doing, what problem they're solving?
That's a great idea. Great question, I should say. One of the things that has helped my clients with answering this question, is to grab a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, like vertically, and so you make two columns. And on one side you put pain points, and the other side you put solutions, like at the top. And so then you can bullet point out, like, what are the top pain points that your ideal client has, and then
Mm.
next to each pain point, what is a solution that you would recommend for each of those pain points. And by doing that, first of all, you can see how freaking brilliant you are, because you have a solution for all of their problems.
Right.
And you might even notice that there might be some redundancies in the solutions, like, oh, if they have these three problems, this solution can actually address these three problems. But by doing this, you can also see, okay, here's some things that I can apply during a VIP day. And then just know that you're going to customize the VIP day to the person. So one of the questions I often get from people is kind of what you're saying, is what does this flow of the day look like? Well, first of all, it's about what is the flow going to look like that's going to best serve your ideal client. So whenever, like, when in doubt with anything in my business, I always ask myself, how can I best support my ideal client, or how can I make the biggest difference possible for them? Right. So
Mm.
for some, they might prefer a shorter VIP day, like 4 hours. I remember having a mentor when I would invest in a VIP day with her. It was 4 hours was considered a full VIP day, and we would pack it in. Like, I mean, I would fly out to San Diego. I live in Seattle, and I would go to her house and we'd grab some coffee, and she'd have like a big flip chart. She's like, all right, what are we talking about today? And we just, it was fast and furious. And that's what works for me in terms of a client. But as far as being a coach with my clients, I'm such a connector. I like to take our time. I don't want to feel rushed, So for me, I always go from, if it's in person, it's 10 to 5. So it's a full day, including a fabulous lunch. I like a little luxury, like a luxury in it. But that's just the framework of like the itinerary. But what's most important is, what are they going to get out of it? So they're coming to you because they want your personalized attention. They want access to you. and they want to accelerate their growth. It happens to be 3 A's when I discovered this. It wasn't planned. I'm not that clever, but access, attention, and acceleration. When they're able to get that access to you as the expert and they get your personalized attention to really meet them where they are and get them to where they want to go and accelerate their growth, the client is super happy. So I would say, think about their pain points, the solutions to those pain points, and then customize the day specifically to the VIP day client that's stepping in so that it really addresses those pain points and gets them going.
I have so many questions I want to ask you that are outside of the scope of what we're talking about today, but about pre-boarding and on-ramping and onboarding and offboarding, that it's all Amy's area of expertise. You guys go to Amy. I'll give you all the links that I know our clients are thinking, or our listeners are thinking right now, well, how do I get ready for that? And how do I make sure it's good? And all these other systems. But I do want to ask this one question. When somebody curates this VIP day, how often do you find, and maybe this is just a personal question with you, how often do you find that there needs to be like a little bit of an afterburn support after that VIP day? Or is that like, nope, we're done, see you later, bye, pay me another time? Or, how does it usually work with you with your clients?
Yeah, it's interesting you asked this because I've tested different ways of supporting them after the fact. What I've found that has worked for me is to schedule, as a part of the package, one follow-up private coaching session to be used within 30 days after the VIP day. And here's why. It can help with accountability. So if they've started implementing some things they've learned from the VIP day, it can help them hold themselves accountable to build that momentum. It can also be great for going deeper on anything we didn't quite go as deep on that we planned on. And then also on that call, you can towards the end of the call, if you believe that this client could become a longer term client because you're like, oh my gosh, I love this person, we have such a great connection, I can see how I can help them implement, maybe they become a private high ticket coaching client for you, right? So I would say wait till the end because it is a coaching session, but towards the end I might say something like, based on everything that we've covered during the VIP day and during our session today, I believe I could help you further in terms of implementation. Do you want to talk about what would that look like, or do you want to explore what that would look like? And oftentimes they've at least been curious about it. And so I'd say, okay, do you still have time today if we have space, or we can talk in the next couple of days? And then you can upsell them to a longer term offer. And it's been great. And some of my clients who've had the fastest results have kicked things off with a VIP day because we just did that deep dive into what they're up to and what they're creating. The other thing I do want to share though, and I love that you were talking about the pre and the post, one of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give if you really want to crush your VIP days is to include what I call an intention setting call before the VIP day. Ooh. So for example, say that you enroll someone into a VIP day, but they're flying out to you, or you're flying to a really cool destination and it's a month away. We don't want a whole month to go by and then our next conversation, I should say, to be in person on the VIP day. So I recommend scheduling, even if it's 15 minutes, a short intention setting call or prep call it what you want to call it, but like a grounding call that you schedule within a week prior to your VIP day. And then when you jump on that call, keep it super laser focused. It's not the VIP day. It's not a coaching session. But if you were my client, April, I'd say, okay, April, first of all, I'm super excited for our in-person VIP day coming up on Friday. From today's vantage point, what specifically do you want to get out of our VIP day? And then awesome. I would take notes because those notes are your guiding light. That's your North Star, your compass for the VIP day. Bring it to your VIP day and say, okay, this is what we talked about the other day. And that's how you will get a testimonial every time.
I love that. I have 2 clients flying in here to Boulder, one this month and one next month. And I'm going to do that. And I've never done it before. We usually do. They're entering into a longer term mentorship with me. So it's not just one VIP day, but I love the starting out in person. Yeah. And I'm totally stealing that.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm totally stealing that. We're going to set this intention call ahead of time and help me help you better. Yes. Okay. So we've talked about the framework. We've talked about the understanding of believing. And I just want our listeners to realize you guys want this. I want this. Amy wants this. We all want this sort of level of service. So take that And now understand that your clients really want this too as you're going through this process. And I feel really strongly about, especially moving forward in 2024, these curated mentorship type of business models, just because we know that so many people really are craving this. So just another little confidence boost if anybody's out there wondering if this is for you. Question is, do you want it? And if the answer is yes, then the answer is your people want it too. Okay, so now let's kind of wrap it up. How do you actually close it? How do you actually say, this is what it is, this is what I'm offering, and communicate the value of what it is that you are doing to close and convert those leads into
I love
buyers?
this question. We could do a whole training series on this, but
I know, right?
I'll keep it tight. Well, first of all, I always like to create what I call a confidence card, meaning an outline of the VIP day offer that are initially it's like all about the benefits to them. And this is, I use it as a behind the scenes tool just to have in front of me when I'm on a call with someone. Some of my clients will create a beautified branded version of it to send them. But as far as your closing question, I'm just so real with it. You know, like when it comes to sales conversations, enrollment conversations, all I'm thinking about is how do I believe I can best support the person? So if I was talking to someone and I was asking them questions, finding out where they are, where they want to go, what they're struggling with, all the usual questions, and if I truly believed that I could make a difference for them with a VIP day, I would say that. I would say, you know, I believe the best way that I could support you would be by us doing a VIP day together, and here's why. Right. And then speak into the why, like and then I would focus on them. When you shared with me that you're wanting X, Y, and Z, and that you're struggling with this, you know, then this is exactly my sweet spot. And then I would visualize with them. I'd say, just imagine us coming together. Like if we're able to do it in person, even better. Come to my home here in Seattle. We've got a great view, right? Like we'll roll up our sleeves, and we can do the first half of the day. We can do a deep dive. So basically, share with them the visual of the journey, right? Here's what I could see us doing, right? So the first half of the day, we'll do a deep dive on in my case, is usually messaging, right? We'll go do a deep dive on your messaging, how you're already, like, what is it that you're already doing that's not working so we can release that. We'll look at all the puzzle pieces of your business so that we can just get a really good grasp of what you're up to. And then we'll have a fabulous lunch. Right. And then after lunch, we're going to focus on building out a plan that is implementable right after the VIP day, right? Like something along those lines where they can really see that I've listened to them on our call and that I am being so honest about why I'm recommending this as the offer and the format and the vehicle in which we'll cover what we need to cover. So I just keep it real. I mean, here's how I think I can best support you. What do you think?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Do you take any clients that you are uncertain whether or not your personalities drive?
No, if we're not a fit, we're not a fit. I mean, it's also a day of your life. I recently came across a quote that said, what you do each day should be important because you're giving up a day of your life for it, or something like that. It's not word for word.
I have that. I'm going to text you a picture. I have a big, huge one of it's hanging on my wall downstairs. It's written out in text because you're exchanging a day of your life for it. So make it good because you're exchanging a day of your life for it. I want my boys to see that every morning before they leave the house. So it's a big thing. So anyway, after this, here you go, guys. I'll upload it to the show notes so you can see it too. This statement. But Amy, I appreciate this so much. And I mean, your wisdom and your framework and your teaching on VIP days for a really long time has been leading coaches and consultants in the industry. And so certainly a trusted resource, and really appreciate you coming in here and teaching our listeners all about frameworks. And I know that you do have one of your VIP intensives coming up. Could you want to tell people about that? Obviously, you guys need to be subscribing and listen to this in real time. Otherwise, it's probably not going to be happening live if you're listening to the replay. But Amy, tell us about what's coming up for people that want to learn how to craft a VIP day.
Yeah, well, first of all, I do also have a cheat sheet that I just want to give to
anyone. Good. Yay.
We can offer that link to get the VIP day cheat sheet. So it just walks you through the steps to create, promote, and sell a high ticket VIP day. So if you're a go-getter and you're just like, I just want to take it, run with it, great. I do have a couple of workshops coming up so I know some might be watching this afterwards, but if you're not, it's coming up on January 23rd, January 25th. I'm doing the same workshop twice, so people have 2 different times. So we can make sure we have links on that below. And then there will also be a limited time on-demand training of it. And then I'm not going anywhere. So please just come find me if you're listening to this afterwards. You know, I do throughout the year do some trainings on VIP days. if it is something you're serious about doing sooner than later, what I have loved about VIP days, it's been the most, like the fastest, easiest, most fun way to make an impact. And I've also kept the system that I teach very simple as well. So it's not like a big thing that you need to do like a launch, like when you're launching something big. You don't need to have an ad, like a new fancy funnel or an ad campaign or any of that. I love those strategies, but this is where you create, connect, offer, like you create your VIP day, you connect with the ideal clients to make offers, and you do it in a way that really demonstrates that you understand what it is that they're seeking, you understand your ideal client. So that's going to be a part of the training as well. So I've seen people go from my workshop to, like, I'm thinking about one of my clients, Tara, who after the training, she went and sold 2 for 5,500. She's like, I'm not ready to sell them for 10,000, but she sold 2 for 5,500. She's like, oh my gosh, I just made $11,000 from what I learned at your workshop. I'm like, and you're welcome.
And that's what we call ROI, friends.
Talking about. Yeah, so come to the workshop. You can definitely download the VIP cheat sheet if you're wanting to implement VIP days.
Perfect.
And then let's stay connected. Like, I love helping passionate entrepreneurs to do what you love with people you love and places that you love, because this life is precious. And I mean, that's what I love about you, April. You're all about living a great life. So let's do this.
Yes. And what is your primary website for somebody who isn't listening timely and is not going to be able to access those resources so people can find you?
Yeah, for once, I'm going to give 2 websites.
Great. Let's do it. Our listeners are very smart and organized.
Very smart. You can handle two URLs. Okay, so one is simply my name, so it keeps it very simple, amyyamada.com. And then we are in the process of building, so it may not be perfect. I'm just telling you right now, we're in the process. This is the first time I'm telling you guys. Like,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're building out idealclient.ai, and here's why. My dream and my vision is for this to become the go-to resource for all things having to do with your ideal client, because I found that it's the first thing marketers will need to know. We're always asked, who do you serve and what problem do you solve, right? And then we skip over to like creating offers. Let's care enough about our future clients. Let's be abundantly minded to attract more of our ideal clients by actually deeply understanding what they want, what they struggle with, what their deepest fears and frustrations are. And so we're building out like a killer website that's going to have amazing blogs on it and resources and ways to deeply understand who you are meant to serve on a level that is nobody can compete with this. Like, I can't even stand it. So
oh my gosh. And of course now I'm like, we need to be talking about licensing and patents and trademarks and all those things.
Totally. Yeah. So
oh my gosh.
And I get to have a conversation after this about all of that.
So exciting. And this is something that we all need. I mean, even me, and I've been coaching for 27 years. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I think I know what they're thinking. And the problem is, and now we're going to go on a quick tangent and we'll let y'all go, but a little behind the scenes here. The problem is we get so close to our expertise and we forget what it's like to not know what we already know. I know for me, because I'm not inherently a marketer, that I struggle with that all the time. So that's why I loved all your AI stuff you taught last year, and this, we're going to be all over this. So I can't wait to hear more about this. I know all of our clients need this as well. So awesome. All right. Well, Amy, I appreciate you so much, just so much, and all of your wisdom and being here and pouring in everything that you do into this industry. And we'll make sure that this show gets out to everybody.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
You're welcome. All right, I knew that you would love this show and love Amy. If you have never connected with her before, all of the show notes and everything we talked about, including the links to attend the live events that she's doing and to get that cheat sheet of resources that she promised to give you, cruise over to sweetlifeco.com, click on the podcast, and this is episode number 314. You can search our podcast website by entering 314, or if you're listening in a timely manner, this will be one of the top episodes there for you to tap into. Again, cruise over to amyyamada.com. If you are not listening to this show immediately as it drops in the middle of January 2024, and you still want to tap into everything she's doing, visit amyyamada.com and her new website, idealclient.ai. Some really exciting stuff is going to be coming out of there. All right. Thanks for listening to the show, everybody. Please share this with your friends. We really appreciate it.